It's Manhattan Day today. Yeah, I'm gonna make my Manhattan. Again, like I always try to start off, this is the way I make it. I'm not professing to say that this is the only way to make a Manhattan, because everyone has a little different twist. And I like mine a little bit on the sweeter side than on the drier side. Everybody does it a little differently. So I'm about to make my Manhattan. You're gonna need a few different things to make a Manhattan. It's really pretty simple, but you're gonna need a shaker. You can do it with a glass shaker in the top, the two-piece, if you want to. But if you're not really proficient at that, these type of shakers are a lot better. You're gonna need a shot glass. You're gonna need some cherries, bitters, either bourbon or rye whiskey, and you're gonna need red vermouth. And really those are the main ingredients. I do use some Liqueur 43, which is a product that I really, really like a lot straight, or I like it in a couple different cocktails. But I'm not gonna make it with Liqueur 43 today, just to show you just a straight up Manhattan. But you can do that, and when I'm making it, I will tell you when and how you could adapt and put the Liqueur 43 in there. First things you're gonna need to do, you're gonna need to have you can do it in any kind of glass, but the traditional looking Manhattan, I mean, in my opinion, the champagne glass, the martini glass, whatever you wanna call it, this is the type of glass that I use to make my Manhattans. Get your shaker. This is a three-piece shaker. It's a little penguin shaker. You can get these at any of your liquor stores. Again, I shop at Specs all the time, so I got this at Specs. It's a three-piece part. You put your ice inside there. Get that over there. Then you take, the next thing you're gonna do is you're going to take a cherry. Open this up. Get your bar spoon or just a regular spoon, because you're really not gonna need the bar spoon too much. Get cherry, and you pop off the stem. Put the cherry in there. I like to put just a little bit of cherry juice, so I'm gonna put the jigger. This is a 1 ounce side of the jigger. I'm gonna put just a little bit of cherry juice in there, about 3/4 of an ounce, because I like it to be on the sweeter side, and that's gonna be my sweetener. Put it back on here. Put that over here. Then you're gonna add bitters. Again, bitters is up to taste. If you're not a bitter fan, you might want to do one shake. You may not even want to do any shakes of bitters. Again, I'm using the Angostura bitters from Trinidad. I really like these bitters. They're very, very good to me. There's a zillion different bitters out there. This is the one I prefer over all the other ones that I've tried. Put that on there. Now, for bourbon, you can use bourbon or you can use rye. It just depends on what you want to do. Of course, we got the Maker's Mark, which is my all-time favorite, and this is a wheated bourbon. And then we have, which is extremely good bottle of whiskey here that's very popular, is the BASIL HAYDEN. Now, the BASIL HAYDEN, you guys may have drank a product a long time ago, or you may have seen your mom or dad drink a product called Old Granddad. That Old Granddad guy, his name was BASIL HAYDEN. So this is the original recipe of Old Granddad, or BASIL HAYDEN, as it's called. Great, great bottle of whiskey. And then we have the Knob Creek Rye. This is a rye whiskey, so it's not a bourbon, it's a rye whiskey, which means to be a rye whiskey, you gotta be at least 51% rye, and the rest can be other grains. So in this particular case, this is a rye whiskey. These other, to be a bourbon, you have to be at least 51% corn. We can get into that some other time. So now we got that in there. We're gonna go ahead and make this one with the BASIL HAYDEN. And we're going to pour, so we put in a little bit of cherry juice. We're gonna pour a nice healthy 1.5 ounces. So this is a 2 ounce pour, so I'm gonna get it almost full. And I'm gonna pour that inside there. Once we get that in there, we're gonna put the lid back on the bourbon. I always put my lids back on. Put the basil back. Then you're gonna take your vermouth. Here I'm using the Cinzano vermouth. There's Martini and Rossi. There's a ton of different vermouths. They're all very good. This is a great product, Italian product, the Rosso. So when you're getting vermouth for Manhattan, you want the red vermouth or the Rosso vermouth, not the Blanco. The Blanco is gonna be a white vermouth, a totally different taste, totally different product. You're gonna take this, you're gonna flip this over. You're gonna use that 1 ounce side. So you put about 1.5 ounces. We're gonna put about, and again, this varies on people too. We're gonna put about 3/4 of a shot of the Cinzano in there, or the red vermouth. Put that in the shaker. Put your lid on there. Now, if you were doing it, what I was talking to you earlier with the Liqueur 43, that 3/4 of an ounce of the vermouth, I would have done half of that would have been Liqueur 43. The other half would have been vermouth. So kind of have a combination of the two. So then you got all your ingredients in here, right? You put your lid on your shaker. You put your head of your penguin, is in my case, on there, and then you shake it. Now, some people don't like these shaken. Some people would put these ingredients in a glass and stir it with their bar spoon. And that's all up to preference. I'm sure there's an official way to do it. I like to shake mine, and I shake it to where that little penguin there gets all frothy. Once you get it nice and cold like that, you open up the top, and you just pour that bad boy right in there. And you can see it's got a nice dark, rich color to it. Get every little drop because that's some good stuff there. Once you get all those drops out, you can get a cherry out of your glass, out of your jar. Get over here and get a cherry. And again, I use the Bada Bing cherries. You can use maraschino cherries. You can use any type of cherries you want. I like the Bada Bing cherries. They're just a really great product. And I drop that in there. Put the lid back on. And now you have, to me, a perfect Manhattan. Cheers.